yes, we are looking forward to it, and yeah, let's hope it's a good tournament for us as well.
Indeed, indeed. I do enjoy the David versus Goliath kind of situation. We had one yesterday, but as you play more, you train more, you learn more, and you can only do so much with the experience that you get. Now, coming back to cricket in Tanzania, we've been having a lot of huge milestones. Of course, recently the national team just got back from South Africa after playing in the Africa T20 Cup. So there are opportunities. I still remember watching the games whereby when we first began, not a lot of teams knew about the Tanzanian national team or our players or anything. But towards the end of the tournament, the commentators and everyone they were cheering for us. They're calling us the favorites. So it's been a wonderful experience, and I think it helps with youngsters like you as well, who has got the prospect to play at this level. So when you see that there are so many opportunities, when the rest of the continent is also hearing about us, it really helps. And how does that work with your motivation?
Um, we have to consider the fact that Tanzania cricket has become way competitive than it was before, and yes, competition unlocks a lot of opportunities. I come back to the point again that Gymkhana is a very young team. With young players, we have more chances to get into the national team. But performance is the key again. Yes, Tanzania has played exceptionally well. Just the one game which we missed out, but having four players of Tanzania in the the Africa 11 is another milestone we achieved. But for me personally, as a player, yes, I would love to play for the national team. So fitness is one key factor that I would consider for me as a player, because if you're fit, that's when you're able to express yourself in the game. Confidence is one more key thing that I consider to be having before I play the game. So these two things for a player should be there. The rest follows. Technique, skills should follow with the training you do. So yes, I'm really looking forward to Tanzania cricket going and achieving. I think even the rankings we've gone, we've shoot up to
31st.
31st. Yeah, that's really good. And I see Tanzania going up to 25, maybe 26 in the next 2 or 3 years. So I think we're doing a really good job. What do you think about that?
No, as you said, the climbing up the rankings itself has been a great achievement. We started the tournament. When we started the tournament, we were sitting at 34th, and now we are 31st. Oya jamani, vipi mwanangu? Ongea hapa. Yeah, so we're 31st now. If we go into 30th, we are qualified for the one-day internationals. So I think that really helps a lot for Tanzania cricket. We get opportunities, we play, and in this tournament, if anything was proven, it is that East African cricket has really developed, because you're looking at Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Three of the four semi-finalists are East African countries. So there's a lot of opportunities for us to play bilateral series. Have matches amongst each other. There are quality players in all three nations. So it really helps to nurture, because when you have players playing among each other, just in Dar es Salaam, we have the players that are here that are playing amongst each other. So there is a limitation. There is a barrier which we find difficult to cross. So these kind of tournaments and what they're planning for the future will definitely help. In addition, we have a bunch of very good new players that have gotten experience as well as knowledge of the sport. In this tournament itself, we have had Amal Rajivan, Akil Anil, and Vinu as well from Aurobindo AKC, who has done exceptionally well. And I think these players, when they come in, the knowledge and the experience that they can share with our players, it really helps a lot. It helps with the temperament, it helps with the shot selection, it helps with the confidence, it helps with the reading of the game. So there's the opportunities are plenty, and we are only hoping that we keep developing, because because we have a very good mixed bunch of players. When you look at Tanzania, we have players from all across the world. Tanzania is a multi-racial country, so you have people from different corners of the world that have come here, that have made Tanzania their home, and that are part of Tanzania. So that's the beauty of this country, and I think we can really use that to our strength.
That's very true. One thing I would like to add and ask you that Caravans itself, the Caravan CAT tournament, started at, I wouldn't say a low level, but at the bottom, and now it's reaching heights which we even wouldn't didn't think that it would. So, what do you have to say about that? What type of things do you think every year coming up? Because every year I see Caravan tournament just developing, bringing up new things, bringing up new things. I see opening ceremonies going in big places. I see grounds being rented. I see lots of sponsors. So you guys are doing something right, which everybody loves. So what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, thanks for that. This club began in 2008. When we started, it was just a bunch of expatriates that loved to play cricket, that used to meet up on the weekends and play. And in those days, tennis ball cricket was a lot more prevalent in the country. And in 2009, we started the first Caravans anniversary tournament, which was a tennis ball cricket tournament because that's what we used to play. And then in 2013, if I'm not mistaken, we switched over to stitch ball cricket. That's when Caravans were registered under the Dar es Salaam Regional Cricket Committee, as it was then called. And within the second year, in 2015, we started our first DC Caravans Cup, as it was then called. And the whole purpose of that tournament was to use the experience we had from the tennis ball cricket competition, because we used to host the biggest tournament in the country at that time as well. When it came to stitch ball, it was a lot more, tricky because there's injuries involved. The players have to play with a lot more equipment. Tennis ball, if you have 6 stumps, a bat, and a ball, that's enough. But stitch ball was difficult. But we planned to execute the first Caravans tournament the same way we did for the previous tennis ball tournament. So we used pretty much the same thing, and we executed it. And every year since then, I mean, we're looking at the 8th year now. So every year that we go into, we say that okay, whatever we've done the previous year, we use that, but we have to bring in a couple more new innovations that people are happy with. So if I recall correctly, we were the first to provide jerseys to the teams. And today we have reached a level whereby the participating teams don't have to pay a single penny to play. They come in, it's by invitation to the top 10 teams of the country. They come, they play, they have nothing to worry about. Just come and play cricket. As long as you give the name of your players and the sizes, everything, the jersey is given to you, everything that you need to play with is given to you. And what we are trying to do with this tournament, of course, is to make sure that more of Tanzania is aware of the sport. Because, football is very prevalent here, and cricket is not very much, very well known, even though our national team has been doing well. So our entire purpose of doing this tournament and hosting this tournament is to ensure that the quality of cricket increases. Once competition increases, you get a lot more players coming in. In fact, we've had teams that were formed just to contest in this tournament. So that shows how influential this has become. I would accredit a part of the success of the national team as well to what Caravans has done as a club. So, I think this is something that every other club needs to look at as well. Gymkhana has been doing it for many years as well. They have been trying to improve. We have a lot of other clubs as well that are coming in and hosting tournaments in different divisions. So, as far as a host is concerned, the goal should be to ensure that, we promote cricket and we make sure that people know. And that's the reason we go to all these sponsors. When you look at, the sponsors of this tournament, they're all the top corporates in the country. So we approach them, we tell them what cricket is, what to expect. We ask them to come over. We make sure they watch the game. So it's not that, we take the money from them and that's it. So we make sure they watch, they understand what it is. They understand the milestones that the national team is also achieving, and they try to help out players as well. So So basically, that is it as far as the tournament is concerned.
I remember the first Caravans level tournament. I played. In fact, I played all of the editions of Caravans, starting from every tournament has been amazing to me. I think it's the most excited and awaited tournament every year. It's just because of the platform it provides, the amount of people who watch. I think nobody, not as many as people come to watch the other tournaments as well as Caravans. Apart from that, I think the rain has been increasing. So what do you have to say about that too? I think the rain plays a part. The outfield gets slower and it is known as a quick outfield. The pitch itself, I think it will be a little bit damp, it will be a little bit slower. Caravans, being the favorites of the team, according to me, they have some explosive batsmen. While they have some batsmen who stay, like Amal, Jitin, Simon, and explosive batsmen like Nanda, Girinji, and Akit. While AK being smart, I think Ijaz plays a big part in the team. He knows what to do, he knows his players. So what do you think? And over the years, Caravans and AK have big banter. I mean, they always compete with each other, big stages, big platforms. So what do you have to say about this? It's yet again another big game. It's the final of the CAT. So what do you have to say about this?
Okay, that's a good question. Starting off with the rain, I think Caravans is very synonymous with rain now. Whenever we host a tournament, it'll always rain. So we are actually proposing to conduct the next tournament in the Sahara Desert. So, we'll have some sort of rainfall there as well. But anyway, as you were talking about the final today, for me, I would say there's no clear favorites because, this is a replay of the first qualifier we've had where Aurobindo AKC, they were very comfortable. They won that game very comfortably. Of course, today it's a different game altogether. About 7 players, in fact, who are playing in the final for both teams just came back from the Africa T20 Cup. So, I'm sure the confidence is booming, and you're able to see the same thing from Akhil's, performance yesterday. You can see that energy is there. So it's a very tight game. And, as organizer, I will stay here with all my biases aside. I'm not gonna side with Caravans, but I'll say that I'm looking forward for a very competitive game of cricket because we are anticipating, we are expecting about 1,000 people to come here today to watch the final. And if you have a one-sided final, it just takes away from the game. So I'm really hoping for an exciting game, regardless of who wins. As far as the neutral fan is entertained, I think that's the biggest success we can have. Of course, going home with the cup is a bigger success, but I'm going to keep that away for now. Anyway, the rain, we were predicting this. The weather forecast did mention that there would be rain at 10 to 12. So I think finally this is something we were anticipating. It says that it will be very clear by 1:30ish. So I'm hoping for at least an hour or so of sunlight, so the ground gets a lot drier. This is a quick outfield, as you said. So 170, 180 runs should be considered as fast score. So whoever wins the toss, I think this is the target they should be aiming at because AK, of course, winning the toss in the first game. Caravans won the toss, decided to send AK to bat, and they did. They scored about 170 runs. So that was good enough on this round. If you're batting first, that's a score they should look at. So we'll be eagerly awaiting the toss and the first inning. So by the end of that, we'll be able to say who can go home with the cup.
Very well said. It's a very neutral opinion, I'd say. Apart from the teams, I'd like to point out some players. For Caravans, I'd say Amal has been exceptionally taking the team towards the winning side. He's been staying there, but there's also one man who's very tricky. He's like the captain of the African team. He's had, I'd say, the most experience internationally and as well in Tanzania. So I think these two have very big potential in the team. So who do you think has the upper hand? I mean, is it experience? Because Aman has just recently joined. I mean, yes, he's played cricket elsewhere a lot, but in Tanzania he's been joining. I think it's been 5 to 6 months, and he's had exceptional records away in Tanzania. He's got 2 centuries, while Abik, who's stood there and taken his team one way towards the final. So what do you think is going to happen in this final?
It's another very good question. Now, this takes me back to 2 years ago when Arshan used to be the opener for AK, and when he left, there was a bit of ambiguity there, uncertainty as to who would fill in that role. And Abhi moving from Gymkhana, I think it's been the biggest blessing for AK, because they needed an opener and they got the best in the business. So sometimes you replace, and Arshan was also the best in the business. So credit where credit is due. When he left, there was a big void, and I don't think any team in Tanzania, for that matter, has managed to replace a void like this with an equally good or better player. One thing I enjoy about Abik and his captaincy, especially for the national team, is how aggressive he is. He lets the players express themselves, and that's something very rare that you see here. And I think that's why when you see at the national team level as well, players are playing with a lot more confidence and confidence. Now, when it comes to AK, of course, he's not the captain, but they have a lot of captains in their own right. You got the experience of Isaac, you got the aggression of Abik, you got the trickery of Harshid. So you have so many captains and a team that plays very well. Now, when you go back to Caravans, on the other hand, Caravans was also having an issue with an opener and a middle order batsman. And middle order is where Caravans is drop out, because if the top order does not perform, then you just see wickets fall one after the other. And we have had a lot of defeats, especially against AK as well. As you said, AK and Caravans, we've had a rivalry that has been going on for as long as we've been playing. And that's the difference, where we were failing in the middle order. Aga Khan would do well throughout. They're a good team running between wickets. AK used to do exceptionally well. I think before Vishal and Ami came in, it was not boundaries that they were needing in, it was a lot of quick running between the wickets. They turned the ones into twos, the twos into threes. And that's where they were able to do it. Caravans, of course, were unable to do so, and that's how AK had the upper hand. Now, with Vishal and Ami, AK has running between wickets as well as the big shots. And when you look at Caravans, Akhil has come in, he has really brought in some sort of stability into that middle order. Very explosive batsman. Given the last 5 overs to face, he's going to take it to a very respectable score. Even with the ball, he's exceptionally good. Amal has been unstoppable in the long format of the game. I think the victory of Caravans in the A Division 50 Cup has to be attributed to Amal's performance, because it seemed at a point that it was impossible to get it out. So, Caravans with these new players that have come in, they've done exceptionally well. Adarsh as well, coming in, bowling the opening spell, he's been doing very well. He just has to click in the batting. Yesterday he did show some glimpses, but you guys were able to get him run out. So, it's a very good team. It's a very good balanced team on both sides. If I really had to pick a favorite, I would maybe lean slightly towards INM Aurobindo AKC, because they have the mental upper hand over Caravans. Having won that game, they will be a bit more confident, a bit more comfortable. Whereas Alliance Caravans are coming into this game thinking about the previous defeat, so they have revenge on their minds. So there will be that kind of aggression going on. So it's very tight. It's a game that maybe one event or a small one over should be more than sufficient to change the game in favor of one or the other.
Yes, I mean, everybody likes to see a win. I think everybody is waiting for that. It's going to be a great game. I always have seen AK making changes and always making it for them. So this was one big change they made to their batting lineup. Vishal coming up as an opening batsman, he's been doing pretty well. Scoring 40s, 50s, 30s. And it's the start that AK is improved in running the team. reached the total. So what do you have to say about that?
I was supposed to speak about Vishal as well the previous time. I spoke about him, I touched on him, and then I said, Vishal is a champion player. Let me tell you that. I followed him from the time he was playing for Japan. And what I like about him, he's a sensible player. So he comes in, he has a target in his mind. If he plays 30 or 40 balls, you know for a fact you're going to get 50 or 60 runs on the board from him alone. So that kind of calculation, that kind of temperament to play and do so well, that's what changes a lot of things. And I have a feeling, when I see Amal, I do see a younger version of Vishal in him because Amal also has the shot selection. He can play the ground, but early on you see him rotate. He steadily gets in. He will have a strike rate of 110, 120, and then later on you'll see that 120 go up to 160 and 180, and that's the same thing we see with Vishal. So as far as Caravans is concerned today, these are the two crucial wickets they have to take. Take Abik and Vishal early on, and then you disrupt the balance. And similarly for AK as well, they will be looking at taking off the wickets early. You have Nandakishan and Kelvin that come on early. They were able to take the wickets of them earlier in the first game. They will look for that. Nandan, of course, is a bit shaky after his performance yesterday. So the top order are a bit under pressure. But, if the top order performs well, you see them play for the first 5-6 overs, go past the power play. Then the one down batsman, two down, and then the middle order, they can come in and really build on that. So, that's what I have to say from both sides. But Vishal, as I said earlier, champion player, unbelievable. It's a visual treat to watch him play.
Yes, definitely. Caravans, as I mentioned, Amal being one player with Caravans. We've seen him limping. Even the national team, when he scored 70 against Malawi yesterday, I think the previous game, as soon as he gets into bat, he starts limping. And I think this is something that the Caravans should be worrying about, not because even though he's limping, he's scoring the runs. So, what do you think this will affect the team?
Of course, playing with an injury for the long term is going to be a problem. Amal has been quite unfortunate for him because he did have an issue with his arm. Once that has gotten better, now he's having an issue with his leg. But one thing about him, I think Abid did mention while they were in South Africa to one of the interviewers, was asking whether they should play Amal while he was injured. And the thing about Amal, these kind of players, the guys who have experience, who have that, experience of playing at that level, they will never take a rest. They will never take a day off. So even with an injury, they want to play, they want to prove themselves because they're worried about what will happen if they do not play. Now, he played yesterday. He was limping yesterday. AK is a smart team. Abik knows that this injury is there. Aizaz, of course, even Abik misses out. There's nothing in the world that Aizaz will miss out. He will know even if a blade of grass is gone maybe 1 millimeter above. So he will be looking at these kind of things, and that's what they will target. Now, how Amal plays with that will show you his caliber as a player.
Yes, I think even in the national side, there were teams who actually saw them limping and they were targeting him, but he overcome it. He scored his 70, even though he was barely running. So yes, that shows how confident and quality player Ahmad is. So yes, I'm really looking forward to this game. Really looking forward to this final. I think it's going to be an amazing game. Always a treat to have the best game at the end. And I feel this is the best game. Everybody's been watching them play. They're playing exceptionally well. So yes, the competition, the rivalry still continues and resumes. Yes, so really looking forward to have a champion.
True, and talking about the finals, AKC are the holders. So there's only been one instance whereby a team has retained, and that was Aces. doing it 2 years in a row. Of course, it was AKC that knocked them off their perch, and now Caravans have an opportunity to get one over. So whoever wins this is another record because they will be the first three-time champion of the Caravans Cup. If AK do it, they'll be retaining and they'll get their place in the books. If Caravans win it, they'll be getting it for the third time. So, a very good team. When you look at the winners so far, we've had two from AK, two from Caravans, two from Aces, and we've had I think was it Gymkhana that have won. So it's been very good. It's been balanced. It shows that there are these teams that are very top of the Tanzanian cricket level. So it also motivates the other players. And as I said earlier, I always loved the David versus Goliath scenario. Anadal Burhani used to be a team that I used to support quite a bit because they used to pull off these one or two upsets. They did that this year as well. They got back to the victory. But as I said earlier, what really impressed me was the ability of Novum Strikers and DTB Gymkhana to qualify ahead of Aruti Aces and Harap Motors Parkstars. If you recall, when we had our first opening ceremony at Rotana Hotel, while Atif